This is no ordinary lamb chop meal. The chops came from a lamb that we raised on our homestead. This was the first time I ever cooked meat that we raised ourselves. This was the culmination of everything we have worked for this year. I begin by preparing my herbs approximately 1 hour before cooking. I have fresh rosemary, thyme, and garlic. I remove the leaves from the stems of both the thyme and the rosemary. Afterward, I run my chef's knife through the herbs, giving them a fine mince. Using my garlic press, I mince garlic in with the herbs. I then get my high-quality extra virgin olive oil and pour over the herbs until adequately covered. I let the herbs infuse into the oil passively while I prepare the chops. I take my chops out of the refrigerator about an hour before cooking so they can come to room temperature. Just look how beautiful these chops are. While waiting for them to reach thermal equilibrium, I sprinkle them with Himalayan salt and cracked black peppercorn. A lot of lamb chop recipes call for marinating the chops in extra virgin olive oil with herbs for a few hours. I don't like doing that because I sear my chops on high heat to get nice color on the meat. The high heat oxidizes extra virgin olive oil, resulting in off flavors and a less healthy food. Also, it is easier to burn the garlic, which would add unwanted bitter notes to the dish. I let my chops rest, coming up in temperature with salt and pepper on either side. After an hour, I heat my enamel cast iron skillet on high and add lard as a cooking oil. I add the chops, about 4 at a time, as to not crowd the skillet. I sear each side for 4 to 5 minutes, getting a nice brown color, also known as the Maillard reaction. While the chops are searing, I add the herb oil to a skillet on low heat. Adding heat to the mixture helps further infuse the flavors into the oil. I let the oil simmer on low for about 2 to 3 minutes, being careful not to let the garlic burn. Once I get the oil warming, it is time to flip the chops. After a few more minutes, I remove the chops to a dish and add the next batch. I check back on that oil and turn off the flame, removing it from heat. Look at the great color on these. I turn off the flame to the cast iron skillet and let the temperature reduce for a couple minutes. I add back my first batch of chops to the skillet. And this is where I add the oil and the herbs. I pour them over the chops, trying to distribute evenly. I then place the skillet in a preheated oven set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 5 minutes. I'm feeling kind of nervous as I'm waiting for this to finish. I've never felt like I've had to get a meal right more than I do right now. Just in honor of all the sacrifice. I decided to serve the chops over garlic roasted kale, and this is the final product. Now let's see how it tastes. Alright, little buddy. You like it?
I like it. Good.
Alright, darling, you ready?
First bite. It's really good. What?
Here it is. This is everything we've worked for. Everything we're working toward.
Any good?
Wow. It's really good, and it's so tender. Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome.